This MMA content is proudly brought to you by the AllStar app, a fully customizable ad-free sports experience. Download it now.
Let's jump into your last fight, man, right away. 5 months ago, you go in there, you choke out JJ, win the title, get a contract with the UFC. Was that night as close to perfect as it can get for you as a fighter?
Yeah, 100%. It was pretty awesome. Pretty epic night.
Yeah,
Yeah,
definitely.
I never really got words for it,
Well,
but it was really cool.
did you even really get to celebrate winning a title? You know what I mean? Because then you got the contract right after that.
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to disrespect the title or anything, but yeah, I mean, I wasn't there to be to be a regional champion. I was there for my ticket to the UFC.
Well, it's still a nice little.
Yeah, and the belt is beautiful, man. It's a really heavy, beautiful belt. I've seen a lot of regional promotions belts, and I've never seen one this nice. So, uh, we hung it up at the dojo for about a month, and it's nice we still have it.
What were the nerves like, man? It was a big moment for you, and I know you have a lot of experience, compared to a lot of guys that are getting signed nowadays. And how did you feel moments ahead of that fight inside that locker room?
Like I felt like so energized and like enhanced by the moment. Like for some reason it didn't weigh on me at all. It just made me really like it got me up. And like when I was like backstage, I looked at the curtain, I looked out and I saw Dana White, and I looked across the back room and I could see JJ through the curtains, and I just like had this moment where I was just like, man, finally there is no filter between me and like everything I've been working on, and it's just like completely in my hands to go do this. And like I was like, it was definitely a give me the ball moment. I was ready to go.
That, I guess, it's a sense of freedom for yourself.
Yeah, it was, I mean, it just felt like the moment felt really important, and it felt like really worth doing. You know what I mean? It was like I would just felt like it was just like such a significant moment in my life and in my career and in my art and everything. And so it was just like, yeah, it felt like so much meaning in it. And instead of that like being something that hindered me, it seemed to like really enhance me.
And I'm pretty sure you're carrying that, whatever that feeling was, into this
Yeah.
next fight, right? It just follows through.
Yeah, definitely. There's no way around it. This moment's going to be equally as significant for me. So I'm really excited, really looking forward to it.
So after that last fight, you get home, are you immediately back into training thinking like, I'm going to hop in on short notice, or I'm going to
Yep.
take any fight oh, for real. So you're just right there
Yep.
ready.
You ready to go? Yeah. We did a gym expansion at my gym, like while I was in the JJ Okonovich camp. So, which was pretty crazy and epic even in itself. So, like the whole moment of that fight was also going on simultaneous of like this huge like gym remodel where we knocked down a wall and had this like massive construction project at the same, like literally all the way up until like the day I left town. Everything was done except the new mats hadn't got there yet. And like as soon as I got home, like top priority was just like finish that. So the mats came in like the next like 2 days later, and then we got to lay out all the new mats in the new gym. And so um it was just like a really like November was just like such a really like just completely epic month for me. It was just like it just seemed like everything hit all at the same time. And so I was kind of in like a little bit of a haze like in November, but first week of December I got back focused and into competition training and competition mindset.
How do you balance that, man? It's tough to just be a fighter with
Mm.
just fighting. I mean, now you have a business and expansion going on. Like, that shows something on the mental side, to be honest with you.
Yeah, well, I'm super organized in how you spend my time, and I'm mostly productive with my time. And so that's just it. I stay focused, I stay disciplined, and I get up early, I go to bed late, and I just work my ass off. But it's all the same mission to me. So like I don't feel like it's like it seems like running the gym and being in the gym all day and coaching and teaching all day seems to definitely make me better at fighting. And so it's working out for me. That's why it's a marathon MMA, man. It's a martial arts marathon. This shit's real.
It is, it is. And yeah, as real as it gets, man. You're hopping in on. Is it short notice though? It's been a few weeks,
Well,
right?
Yeah, 3 weeks from I found out 3 weeks from the fight, so I would say that that's short notice. But I had asked to have a short notice fight in April, so like it wasn't like, only the exact date and opponent was short notice, but I knew that I was coming up and on deck. I was trying to get in short notice in like March, so and I didn't, so I kind of knew that it was coming.
Yeah, I think that's important for people that are watching this fight ahead of it to understand that you were in training the whole time to get a UFC
I
fight.
was,
So it's not like you just,
and
yeah, it's not like you were just
yeah,
working a job and then you just hopped up and said, "Oh yeah, yeah, I'll take that
right.
fight."
No, that's not like I don't have a job. Like I do martial arts like full time. So it's never really a problem. But I also was in training for a black belt jiu-jitsu match I had, and I found out that we had this fight like locked in the night of that jiu-jitsu match. So I was already like training for like competition. I literally had a competition coming up, and so yeah, it was no problem. It was perfect time for me. Better than having a long camp, honestly.
For sure. With Jordan, man, what are your thoughts on him and the skill set that he possesses?
I'm not like overly impressed with anything he does. I think he's pretty limited. I think there's a lot of openings in the grappling, a lot of space, and I think that I should dominate him everywhere and put him away pretty early.
Do you think the only loss that he has in the UFC was against Claudio? And if you look at that fight, did you see the holes in that one? Is that the one that you look at and see?
Well, yeah, that's the first competitive fighter he's fought. So, he has 3 fights in the UFC, but like, let's get serious. So, like, that was the first real competitive guy he fought, and he got beat at his own game. But I'm sure that he took and learned from that. But I also think I'm leaps and bounds ahead of Claudio too. So Jordan Levitt has never been in there with anyone like me. I said this before the Okanovich fight. People didn't like really believe me necessarily, but JJ had never been in there with anyone like me, and neither has Jordan Levitt. So I should run through him.
Now with you got your gym, and then
Yes, sir.
you have the mix of Glory MMA. How do you balance that? Like, what is the percentage you're working at each gym?
Uh, well, I don't work. I just only train at the Lee Summit one. I don't like really work there. I used to teach the jiu-jitsu there before I opened my gym, but I go to the Lee Summit Pro practice 3 mornings a week, so I go every other morning, and the rest of the time I'm at my gym. But they're only 20 minutes away from each other, and there's also a lot of crossover. So a lot of those guys come up to my evening classes, and so I'm very connected there still.
Hell of a relationship that you guys got going. 20 minutes away is nothing, man. Nothing.
Nothing, man. It's
Yeah.
actually I live closer to Krause's gym. I live closer to the mothership. It's 7 minutes away from my house, and then my house is 15 minutes away from my gym. So I'm in both gyms constantly, and like I said, some of my fighters train in Lee Summit mornings too, and so there's a lot of crossover, and so it's just like a big family.
Yeah, it seems like you live in the sweet spot, like right in the in between or whatever you want to call it. That's nice.
Yeah, I was lucky. I was lucky to find 9 acres too in that sweet spot. So pretty cool.
9 acres. Are you farming? You doing anything with that?
Yeah, dude, we're like building it back. It was like pretty run down, so but definitely we have chickens and a turkey right now. And so that's the extent of it. But it does have like a horse barn and everything. So at some point we'll probably get like some animals, some goats or something out here too. And we're gonna start working on the garden this year as well.
Definitely, definitely, man. I think that's all great to see. Fighters, buying land, buying homes. Like this is just it shows you like an advancement of the sport, and like I think
Yeah.
I think money management is like a huge thing for fighters because they have gone so long without much that when
Yeah.
they do get money, they understand like what they need to do with it. It
Yeah.
seems like it's ingrained in them. Do you feel that way?
Definitely. I like it, like intentionally sacrificed money in pursuit of martial arts for a long time. I chose to work like towards the end of my amateur and very beginning of my pro career. I was choosing to work like literally the minimum of what I had to make my bills, and then I would spend the rest of the time training because I was trying to train like 6 hours a day, and so because I thought that that would be really important, and so I've been doing that for a really really long time, and then in like 2000, towards the end of 2015, beginning of 2016, I scaled it back even like half of that, and as I was like 5 or 6 pro fights in, and from that point I basically was only doing like teaching jiu-jitsu and doing martial arts privates and like living on savings on the other half. So Absolutely, I understand the value of having a cushion, and don't take any of it for granted. And I understand the game and the brevity of it. And, I'm not going to be splurging foolish any of the money that I make.
Sure. And going back to your fight, you'll be fighting at the Apex, your
Yes, sir.
first time. Is that something that you're looking forward to, especially like the ability to like hear your coaches like clearly, like at a regional show in a way?
Yeah. I think it'll be even quieter than a regional show, honestly. Some of these regional shows are in like smaller rooms that are just packed, And so I don't really think it matters much to me. I think that the energy of a big arena is definitely something I gotta experience, like a UFC pay-per-view card. Like I really want to feel that. And but I focus like entirely on the objective fight more so than I really care about anything else. Is like the actual patterns of the fight and the presence with the opponent, and the creativity and all of that that comes with the actual fight itself. It really, all of the other stuff I like kind of take in after the fight, you know.
And with everything flowing so well for you, man, like what type of performance are you expecting out of yourself against Jordan?
Yeah, I mean, at this point in my career, I want to be fighting pretty much perfect. I want to stay in position, make zero mistakes, keep my opponent out of position, and ultimately dominate them. I'm not looking to be in competitive fights. I'm looking to, you know, completely dominate my opponents and make it look like they don't know how to fight, even though they're good pros.
All right, a couple more questions before I let you go. Um, crypto, cryptocurrency, man. They just announced that they're gonna start giving out bonuses in the UFC, and fans will vote for first, second, third place. What is your take on crypto? Are you a believer?
Like it took me a long time to get my head wrapped around Bitcoin and like what it was. Like before I like began to invest in it, I got like interested in like trying to just like understand like what exactly this is and where is my Bitcoin, like. And so I watched a lot of YouTube videos on it, and the more I looked into it, the more I thought that it was probably pretty solid. I think that we're, even though like the very infancy of crypto is over, like that very like when Bitcoin was like $1, but I still think that overall that Bitcoin and like these other cryptocurrencies are pretty much in the beginning, and that they're still probably undervalued. So if you get in now and hold them, I think that it's going to pay off over time, you know. But the thing that makes me nervous is like which cryptocurrency is going to finally end up being the one, and like you know, it seems it still seems so new. It's hard to understand the place that it'll actually have.
Definitely, definitely. I think we're still years away from knowing exactly like what's really going on. But if you're making money, all the best to you, man, with this crypto stuff.
Yeah, but I also think that it can be like an effective hedge, like if it's not like the United States dollar's like crazy stable, or any like government tied currency is crazy stable or anything. So I kind of view cryptocurrency as like the new gold, where it's like another form of money that's not going to move negatively based on the current governmental economy or whatever.
Yeah, wars and stuff like that, right? So
Right.
yeah,
And so like Bitcoin or like gold, things like that usually go up when your currency is dropping.
yeah.
And so it's like I could definitely see it as like, like a long-term hedge, but the short term of it seems like really speculative.
Yeah. PTSD in combat sports, not
Okay.
CTE, but PTSD from like an injury, a weight cut, something, anything like that.
Or a
Okay.
rough fight.
Yeah, a
Yeah.
rough fight, definitely. Even a loss, what I mean? Like a rough fight you lost,
Mm.
that could have an impact on you. Have you ever experienced this and overcome it or seen it in fighters around you?
Man. Yeah. Uh like I've definitely seen it, like, and like I can think of some examples, but I don't want to like say them, of fighters where I've seen that where it seems like once their confidence gets broke, that they don't seem to respond very well to that. And then you see other fighters where they get that like they get a taste of whatever that was, that experience, and it like makes them stronger. They analyze it and they get like, no, fuck that. I'm gonna overcome that. I'm never gonna let that happen again. You know what I mean? I'm gonna get tougher from this, and that's obviously the right attitude. The fight I had um, was when I fought Ryan Walker. It was my third pro fight. It was at 170. I think he was like 5-2. I was 2-0, and I really hadn't been in uh fight where I just got like beat up or like hit like hard the whole fight. Um, and that fight was like that for me, like we fought really hard start to finish. And I remember in the fight like realizing like, wow, I can take a lot more than I thought I could. Like I'm a lot tougher than I thought I could. But it was like one of those moments that could have resulted in PTSD, but I just felt like it just like made me so much stronger because I like survived it and we got to the end of the fight. I didn't get finished and I was just like, uh, you know, so if that, I don't know if that makes sense, where it's like I could see it either when you get exposed to something like that, it either makes you tougher or it like spooks you, or a bad weight cut or something. You see guys carry that with them, or some people just are more resilient like that. But I feel like this sport weeds that out. So like if you can't overcome these like tough moments and injuries and uh hard weight cuts or fights that went wrong or just getting clipped and knocked out, and then you just like had too much anxiety going on, it's like eventually the game's just going to weed you out. So you have to be able to overcome that stuff, and you have to have a short memory in this game, win or lose.
Last thing, currently I'm embedded with a fight team and training for a fight. So in 6 months, I'll take a fight. Pro rules,
Okay.
amateur fight.
Is this
Pro
your
rules.
first fight?
Yeah, it's my first fight. So I'm just
Awesome.
wanting to know any kind of advice you could give me as a person that's training for a fight that is in fight camp, basically a 6-month fight camp.
Yeah, well, how much experience do you have in martial arts prior to this?
I have before the pandemic, I had a couple years of jujitsu, like blue belt
Mhm.
level.
Yeah. Like, so my advice for you would be to organize like an actual tactical game plan and begin to train specific around that as much as possible. And then I would also be watching, like when you're watching fights, be watching the positions that you're trying to create and see like what's happening at like the high level, and like listen to the commentary on all the fights, like I'm sure you do, and be dedicated to your training. The main thing I try to teach my team and my fighters is that like none of us are special. It's like you must refine your process. It's your process that can be special, but you are nothing without your refinement of your process. So be dedicated to your training, train the most you can, sacrifice everything to it, because it's not just a sport. This is combat, and you'll feel that when you get in there. And so train for it with that kind of seriousness.
Without a doubt, man. Thanks, man, so much for that. And April
Yeah.
16th, man, you're back in action. I'm happy to see
Yes,
that,
sir.
man, because it just seemed like I talked to you like a week ago and you're fighting for the title at Fury.
Yeah.
So all good, man. Thank you so much, man, for the time.
Yeah, man. Good luck with your fight.